We are 1 month away from NHL regular season hockey being back, which means we are so close to seeing our beloved Calgary Flames play some real hockey. But what kind of team are the Flames going to be? Well, the NHL has come out with their season preview for the Flames, and we are going to break it down. But before we get into that, I want to welcome you to Flames Digest. I'm Mark Griffith. If you're new around here and you love the Flames, make sure you subscribe so you can stay up to date on all the latest news, updates, reports, and rumors revolving around your Calgary Flames. We would love to welcome you to the Flames Digest family. Without further ado, let's get into this preview here, and let's talk about the three keys to the season. So like I said before, this preview comes from the NHL itself. I can't remember which writer it was exactly, but it comes from NHL.com, which in my eyes means it pretty much comes from Gary Bettman himself. But we're going to hop straight in. Let's find these three keys and talk about the first one, which is hungry like the wolf. Feel free to sing that one if you'd like. The Flames traded goalie Jacob Markstrom to the New Jersey Devils on June 19th, so they'll be relying heavily on rookie Dustin Wolf this season. A two-time AHL Goalie of the Year in 2022 and 2023, and the league MVP back in 2023, Wolf played 17 games with the Flames last season and went 7-7-1 with a .316 goals against average and an .893 save percentage. Wolf will compete for playing time with Dan Vladar, and Devin Cooley probably as well, who was the backup to Markstrom last season. To become the number one, Wolf will have to be better this season, but the Flames are confident in the 23-year-old. So one key to the Flames season, whether that key means the key to making the playoffs or just a key to a successful season or whatever it is that the NHL is trying to allude to here. We know that one key is not just broadly goaltending, but Dustin Wolf himself. Will he take the reins? Will he be the guy that everyone expects him to finally be? Or will, maybe not having the best decor in front of him stunt some development? We'll play some other guys. It'll be very interesting, but Wolf has to be hungry. I'm sure he is, and it's time for him to take that number one spot. Key number two, Huberdeau must bounce back, and we have been saying this for a long time now. It was a key to last season as well, and we all know how that went. But either way, things have not worked out as expected for Jonathan Huberdeau in his first two seasons in Calgary, with the forward being unable to replicate the offensive success he had with the Florida Panthers. Acquired in a trade on July 22nd, 2022, Huberdeau set an NHL record for the biggest point drop from one season to another, going from 115 and 80 games with the Panthers to 55 and 79 games in 2022-23 with the Flames. That is a stat we are all too familiar hearing about, and it is quite dreadful that it is part of our organization. Last season, Huberdeau had 52 points in 81 games, so even worse. With Huberdeau entering the second season of an 8-year contract, Calgary needs him to regain his form from his Florida days in order to challenge for a playoff spot this season. So there you go. There's the keys. It's the keys to making the playoffs, and a huge part of that is Huberdeau. There actually are people in the fan base. I've seen it in the comment of Flames Digest and other places as well. The Flames Instagram, the Flames Reddit, all those places. A lot of people do think, look, if Huberdeau plays well, if Kuzmenko and Sharkey can start scoring, who knows how good this team could be? They really could be an offensive threat. I don't know. I hope there will be a lot of 6-5 games this year, but it'll be very, very interesting. And of course, one of the keys to the season is having Huberdeau bounce back. Preferably, I'd like to see him break at least 70 points this year, but I'd rather see him at a point per game. Now let's get into the third key here, which is growing pains. General manager Craig Conroy said at the end of last season that the Flames were retooling and expects them to go through growing pains as they give opportunities to young players. Conroy took over a team with a number of key players eligible for UF agency this past July 1st. Conroy dealt with the situation as best he could, acquiring assets for those players he was unable to re-sign, and now can focus on the future with the goal of making Calgary a contender in the Pacific. And that's not going to happen anytime soon, but it is true. There's going to be some growing pains. There's a lot of change happening, a lot of turnover, a lot of new faces, a lot of young faces. There will be growing pains. We know that's going to be the case not only for this year, but probably for the next few seasons as well. We know that this is going to be a key for this team, and the key really is to just ride with it, make sure everyone develops, and just support everyone throughout what could be a pretty tough time. But there you go. Those are the three keys. Now let's get into the roster rundown, which is pretty fun. So certain things you might have missed and whatnot. I know most Flames fans know what's going on, but either way, making the cut. Forward Matt Coronado had 9 points, 3 goals, and 6 assists in 34 games with the Flames last season, and the 21-year-old is expected to spend the entire season with them after having alternated between the NHL and the AHL. Already, that's interesting because that's different than what some other sites or places had projected Coronado to be. Some don't even have him in the opening night roster, let alone being with the team all season. Selected by the Flames in the first round, number 13 overall in the 2021 NHL draft, Coronado had 42 points in 41 games with the Wranglers last season before getting called up. The right wing has the potential to earn a spot on one of the Flames' top 2 lines and will likely get the opportunity to play on the second power play unit if he makes the team. He will need to be hungry, but it's all about making the cut when it comes to Coronado. We've talked about him quite a bit on the channel recently. Most intriguing addition as well. Forward Anthony Mantha had 34 points, 20 goals, and 14 assists in 15 games with the Washington Capitals last season. 20 goals in 56 games with the Caps last season is not bad. Before being traded to the Vegas Golden Knights, with whom he had 10 points in 18 regular season games and no points in 3 playoff games. The 29-year-old signed a 1-year contract with Calgary on July 1st as a UFA. The Flames are hoping he can provide secondary offense and support for Huberdeau this season, and in turn into a trade deadline piece that the Flames can trade away for even more assets. But who knows how well these guys can click? It seems as though Huberdeau and Mantha will be on the same line, just a matter of who you put between them. But very, very interesting here. We've heard many names being thrown out there of who can be in the middle, whether it's Kadri, whether it's Pospisil, whether it's Zary, whether it's Sharangovich. It'll be very interesting to see. But of course, the most intriguing addition is Anthony Mantha. How the heck is he going to do on this team? Let's talk about the biggest potential surprise for the upcoming season. Connor Zary had a strong rookie season with 34 points, 14 goals, and 20 assists in 63 games, and is expected to continue his development this season. The 22-year-old forward, who was selected in the first round, 24th overall of the 2020 NHL draft, should play a top 6 role. Absolutely. Zary has the potential to have a breakout season if he's able to make the most of the expected increase in ice time. He was just over 15 minutes per game last season. I think he will get a way bigger role, way more ice time, should have a bigger role on special teams units, hopefully the power play as well, so he can really add to those numbers because, look, he is a really, really good player. I think he will quickly become a lot of people's favorite player on this team. Very excited to see what Zary can do this season. Maybe he will surprise us all. Now let's get into who is ready to contribute. Defenseman Jeremy Poirier sustained a skate laceration on his arm last season, derailing a strong start with the Wranglers. He was able to return and finish with 13 points in 23 games, then had 4 points, 1 goal and 3 assists in 6 playoff games. Amazing for a defenseman. So good offensively. The 22-year-old could be ready to take the next step after playing the past 2 seasons in the AHL and is considered one of the Flames' top prospects. He has an opportunity to make the team as the 7th defenseman, and I would love to see that. He really does seem ready to contribute. I know there's a history of injuries. I mean, a skate laceration in your arm you hope wouldn't be, a lingering injury and really easy to re-aggravate, but either way, so excited. I really think Poirier will get, at least 1 game in the NHL this season. And who knows what he can do once he's up here. Maybe with given the correct role here and the correct defensive partner, a defensive D-man, he could really, really excel. He seems ready to contribute, and it is very, very fun to think about. Now let's wrap this up with the projected lineup. So here we go. It's not too different than some of the ones we've looked at in the past couple days, but there is one big difference. So a top line of Huberdeau, Backlund, and Coleman. Interesting to see Huberdeau as the Mangiapane replacement. I don't know how true that will be. I think it is more expected that Mantha and Huberdeau will for sure be on the same line, but either way. Zary, Sharangovich, and Mantha, again, a very interesting line there. Do I hate it? Not at all. Is it what we've seen in other projections? No, but who knows? It could work. Third line of Pospisil, Kadri, and Kuzmenko. Love it. They played together last season for a little bit and were absolutely amazing. That is the best third line in the league, if that is the third line. And then a fourth line of Lomberg, Rooney, and there you go, Coronado. I think that might be the first time we've looked at one of these projected lineups and he is in there. Usually it's someone else. We've seen Walker Dewar. We've seen Pelche up in the lineup, but now we have Coronado. So interesting that the NHL sees him as a Calgary Flame this year for sure. Defense, Weegar and Miramanov, standard. Ball and Andersson, pretty standard. Bean and Hall as the 6th guy in there. We have seen many other names for a 6th defenseman, and please check out some other videos. Lots of the most recent ones have covered that. And then, of course, Wolf and Vladar as the 2 goalies, with Wolf as the number 1 there. We do, of course, know that there is Cooley as well, and it'll be very interesting to see who kind of gets the most playing time out of all those. But either way, I'm stoked for this season. I know this is the first of probably what will be a few season previews. I could, if you guys even want, I could give my own season preview and throw out some of my probably what will end up being cold takes. But either way, I'm very, very excited for this season. It's never been really before that we have been so excited about a transitional phase, a rebuild per se, but it is super, super fun, and I cannot wait. What else can't I wait for? Well, that would be the comment of the day, of course. Whoa, that was a quick chapter. I'm just doing some magic with my fingers here. Don't take that out of context. And we got one from Pepe. And Pepe said, I know Posp has shown some real fire, but I hope he dials it back a tad for his own health. I think it will help his numbers as well. Yes, Pospisil, we know, can play an aggressive game, but if he shifts more to trying to be just a producer, I think the numbers will go up for sure. We've seen flashes of brilliance from him last season. He's got that offensive knack, so hopefully he can really up his game and really try and stay healthy, and of course, all the opponents stay healthy as well. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe like what you saw here today, and have a wonderful rest of your day.